that should be good for now. And like I said, we'll get some more clamps to actually put it directly over the table here. And I think that'll probably help a little better. Insofar as too, once it's in the middle, we can then kind of play around more, and we may not actually need yours. Okay. Because it might have good enough volume to capture, especially since it's phantom powers on there. Because was it a little weak? How are you putting your?
It sounded good for all the players. Yes, I was quiet and then good.
And how did you have this? Where did you have this plugged into?
Oh, I think it was in the hub. No, sorry. No, sorry. No, Ian had a thing that he brought.
Oh.
And I assume it was like just like USB interface. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So, can you get with the web lab, please?
Since I have officially dropped.
Yeah,
Hey,
Yeah.
just gangbang at any moment. What's that?
what's the matter? That's where your mind goes?
I mean, look at me, it's a stud.
Getting married to my husband?
I tried to tell Katie, we're gonna stream this. Everybody's gonna be fawning over me. And Katie said, no, they're gonna be fawning over Steve because Steve's in DM. True. Okay, I was fighting back a little bit, and I was like, yeah. It's like they go for DM. Okay.
All right. Is everyone ready?
Yeah. I
Steve, let's do it.
Streaming. We're streaming to Twitchy and Discord and YouTube.
YouTube?
Yeah.
Let me see that YouTube link, though. I'm gonna make a wild assumption. I found us in...
Yeah, I haven't said my asshole or something. Wait, what's the curse policy on this one? Go on. Good son of a. That's actually what whistle bonus for.
Yeah.
It does the beep sound. That is good. But you have to preemptively do it. Or basically do it as Kirk's play. It's very. How do I do it? Why? I have to put it in there.
Okay. Let's get started. Let's do the thing. Everyone has their characters ready?
Yeah.
Cool. So, basically to catch you, Dylan, up on the lore of where we're coming from. In the previous campaign, we we learned that Orcus was trapped under the mountain of Dun Haldur, and when the team went to investigate this, they found a load of demons basically right outside the door that was holding Orcus in. And they decided it would be a good idea to blow those demons up. So they pushed barrels of gunpowder and like fire water or whatever down into that area. Everything went and it actually opened the door a little bit more. So Dun Haldur fell. The team went around Cronus to try to find the god-touched items, bring them all together in order to defeat Orcus.
Hecate's father.
Yes, Hecate's father. And in the middle of all this, they met a guy named Darvel, who was a bard. And when they met him, he went and stole one of their god-touched items, which was the tentacle of Cthulhu. Okay. And this led them to discover that Darvel was in league with Cthulhu in some way, shape, or form. So while they're going around getting these items, Darvel was following them along. And basically, long story short, they get everything. And one of the final things that they get is the hand and eye of Vecna.
Okay.
And Katie's character, whose name escapes me for some reason, Kyoko, put that on. So Kyoko had the hand and eye of Vecna, and along with that comes a wish. She used.
I know. Like, you get me?
She used that wish.
Ah.
You good? Okay. What was I saying? So she used that wish to basically cripple Orcus and Cthulhu.
Okay.
And who else was? Vecna was there too. So she used it. She used it to cripple Vecna. Yes.
Yeah, dude.
So that made it really easy for number one, Beelzebub, who was trying to take over Hell or the Void or whatever, to take over. So he basically imprisoned Orcus. Beelzebub imprisoned Orcus, yes. And Cthulhu, we didn't hear anything from Cthulhu for a while. After we went to defeat Beelzebub, we found that Orcus was chained up, and Hecate killed him. Then after that, we decided, okay, now we got to figure out what's happening with Cthulhu. So they went to the astral plane and looked all around, and they found Cthulhu's gigantic planet-sized skull. His entire essence had been sucked up by Darvel, and that was the big bad fight
With Darvel.
with Darvel.
And how do I?
Yes. At the end of it, they defeated Darvel, and I kind of skipped over a part where Hal Dago, who was what's the race called? The rabbit race?
They are here.
Herringborn. Yes, he was a Herringborn. He died, was resurrected to be a Shadowcar. Because of that, the Raven Queen also entered the world. And so, after the Raven Queen took over from the other god, whose name I forgot, the other god of death. Anyway,
Hell.
Kellenborn. After she took over, and after everything was done, they defeated Cthulhu, they defeated Darvel. Hal created the Order of the Raven.
See.
Hecate took over the Institute of Protection, which was the original thing that brought them all together. She kind of resurrected that and started it all over. Kyoko went to Penglai and started her own town, and is doing stuff with that. Still with the hand and eye of Vecna, so we'll see how that goes. What else is important happened? Am I missing anything?
Some might say. Some might. I'll see.
Aralo, which was his original character, his very first character. Aralo took over ruling Synthario, which is a town that was full of slavers. He freed the slaves. And he kind of also is a hero to all of the orcs.
Right.
So the dwarves, who were obviously cast out of Dun Haldur, are now living in the human city of Emberhall.
Do Albert and you are?
Dun Haldur, yes. Yeah, they're living in the human city of Emberhall in like the Dwarven Quarter, and they're very discriminated against. They're trying to get back to their hometown, but it's slow going because they have to like fight all of the undead and demons that are in there.
I mean,
So like think the Dark Roads.
Yep.
That pretty much brings us up to what you guys know in general about the world coming into the game as your characters. So with that said, let's go around and introduce our characters. We'll start over here with you.
So, the place is
Nice.
Dwarven Tech. Or the
Nice. Tell us a little bit about what you have planned for his backstory.
He was an abandoned child. You may go out of character this.
Okay.
Tell me about yourself with 30.
So he was late, very young, around 30, 40. His parents fell very ill, kind of angry during this place war. He was trying to cure them. He was away from like glitch sect to glitch sect, medicine, doctor to doctor, and nobody could really do anything. All the cures that they were giving him were just kind of making almost like chemotherapy, making quality like terrible. He kept seeing his parents suffer, and he kept bringing them to more places that made them suffer more, made their life worse, just to kind of stretch out as much as he could have with them. Until he took them to a temple that, say, was the Order of the Ravens, where the head acolyte just kind of killed his parents. And he witnessed as their souls just kind of went off and they got a smile on their face and basically happiness, and that wasn't suffering. And he was explained that, everything he was doing was selfish and just making their lives worse in order to get more time with them. And he was so just kind of grateful that they were able to get to a place where they were no longer in pain. That he was so young at the time that he ended up devoting his life to the temple, serving them, kind of carrying out what they needed done with us, like killing the dead, putting guns to death, seeking out people that were at the edge of their life, and he kind of guiding them through the death process with a lot of compassion. He's just been working with them for the last 100, 200 years to just fill in that role. Yeah, cool.
No man.
No.
100, 200 years.
Where's this at 350?
Oh, yeah.
Realize. To, I think 150.
So previous to 100 years ago, the Raven Queen did not exist. Right. So we can say that he was there for about 100 years.
Yes, I mean, your stuff. It's 110. The lack of.
Great.
Scoping out this new religion. See all the buzzes now.
Yeah. What did you say his name was?
Rice Grinso. RIBSGRICO.
Why?
Then school.
Oh, really for sure.
Cool.
Like,
That sounds great. Get back to that. Katie, tell us about yours.
I'm playing an elf gloomstalker named Seraphina Voss. She just goes by Sarah. She is all around very generally happy and joyful. She became the gloomstalker not by traditional ways. She became gloomstalker because the small village that she grew up in, her father was a cleric, a healer, and she needed to venture into the Underdark to collect species of fauna and mushrooms and things like that, so that way he could create healing potions for the village. She was born near the gate in the Sampario forest, and she had mother and sister, and she's always been fascinated with animals and nature. She had, little jackrabbit when she was younger that unfortunately ran away, but, she can still be out there. Who knows? My family and I lived through the Emergence Orcus, although Sarah doesn't remember much except for running constantly. Her family tried to flee to Ember Hall. Ember Hall was the largest city, and her father thought that he could possibly get some answers as to what was happening. By the time he got there, he wasn't able to get any more details of what happened by the Emergence, or at least that's what he told Sarah's mother. Fast forward about a century later, almost to the day, a sickness swept over the people of the new village. Sarah and a few rangers, including her sister and her best friend, Jess Clover, half-orc druid, went out to collect herbs for the healers and noticed an uptick in necromancy in the woods. So things like undead, or signs of the undead in the woods. They were originally going to cut through driftwood, but the swamp proved to be too difficult to navigate. However, while trying to get through the swamp, her sister, the group, was attacked, ambushed by an Althum and company. Sarah watched some more as her sister was attacked by this abomination, unable to do anything. Only after her friend Jess was able to kill the Althum and snap Sarah out of her trance-like state of shock. Sarah's sister died in her arms, and from that day forward, Sarah made an oath to herself to protect her friends and family no matter what it cost. However, by the time she and Jess returned about a 10-day later, her entire village had succumbed to this mysterious illness that caused whoever was infected to become violently ill and die, and that they come back days later as undead abominations. So she and Jess had to essentially slaughter her entire village to prevent this disease from hopefully spreading. However, Sarah's still on a mission to return to Ember Hall, figure out what happened during the Emergence Orcus, seeing what happened with the stillness in her village, and she feels like something's up in the forest and feels obligated to fix it. So she has a little bit of hero complex. And she talks like she's from the Appalachian Mountains. She's growing up there.
Perfect. Do you know where the name of the forest that she comes from? Did we decide that?
It says near the gate tree in the Syntharia forest.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Cool.
We didn't work. We didn't really establish a village town name per se.
Yeah.
It's similar to, I would imagine, Dale Shelps, some Dragon Age. Copyright infringement. But I would assume that because her father was the village healer, that it would just be the Voss tribe or something like that.
That makes sense. Cool.
Because that forest is where a bunch of elves live. That was in my little network.
Yes.
Now that it.
Yeah, they lived a little southwest of that area. But yeah, close by. Cool. Sonia, tell us about yours.
Nice. So that's elegant and something like that. But so my character is Moxie Cleopatra. That's her stage name. Her real name is Sonella Malcomedy. She's a halfling. She grew up in the circus, doing acrobatics and circus acts and stuff like that. To find her style, she was the treasure chest of costume and whatnot, and found a comedy mask and put it on. And a genie came to her and told her that if she wears this mask, she'll have powers. The mask acts as the vessel for the genie. She pretty much just a very transient lifestyle. Her didn't know her dad, but her mom, got freaky with someone in a halfling village. And but her mom died in a freak sherry accident. Chucked on a pit or whatever. her best friend was a sword eater. Didn't have a name, apparently. Tall.
Yeah.
She's tall. She's 6'5". Named Missy. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. There's no tragic backstory otherwise. I mean, she was transient, so change was fine, and so periodicizing within a lot to her. Yeah, so, but you're a G now.
We'll give her some trauma.
That's fine.
Cool. Eric?
Hello. I am Zebo. See auto no. Auto disser. Heart disser. So, through the past few decades of Christ, there have been live sales, if you will, of a strange metallic creature. I walk the. What's that true?
You short circuited his brain. You gotta be careful with that one.
Of a strange metallic creature, if you will, who has been seen across many places and has helped a great deal of people, small or large staffs, and it's become something of a folk legend, but many people do not know the true tale of Zebo. See, roughly over 100 years ago, there existed a rock known as Vendel. And he was a kindly, if quiet, rock gnome who lived in the city of Aldor. He ran a small shop doing repairs for mining equipment and things like that. Generally was accepted by the community. But all of this was really a cover for his true ambitions. See, what people didn't realize is that Vendel was, back in his hometown, one of the greatest auto technicians of his generation. And he came to do Aldor deep in the basement of his workshop. He began to craft what would become his magnum opus. The idea was to create an auto that would be completely sentient and be able to think for itself and make its own choices. Now, as he progressed in this project, he stumbled on one major obstacle, the heart, the core of the auto. See, no matter how many traders he talked to, how many books he scoured, or whatnot, he just couldn't find something that would create the goal that he was seeking, to create a truly autonomous, a truly sentient being. And unfortunately, Vendel did not choose the correct city, as when the emergence occurred, he was mortally wounded during the invasion, and stumbling back down into his basement, the door slammed shut, and to this day, nobody knows what happened during that time. All we do know is that roughly 10 years after the heroes of the Emergence had slain Orcus and Darvel, a strange autognome appeared from the basement quite quickly, and through Razor's Edge, managed to make his way out of Aldor. Now, this thing was essentially a child, completely aimless, not knowing its purpose, until it stumbled upon a young cleric on the outside, on the edge of Mire Woods here. And this cleric took a fascination. He was very startled to see such a creature, but took him in for his own. And within a short amount of time, they became quite well acquainted. He decided to teach Sluggnum about the ways of the world. Big scout cleric taught about the world, about all the different things it had to offer, as well as teaching him morals, ethics, and the price and reward, always doing the right thing and helping those you come across. And he gained his dual system for decades, until one day this cleric became a frail old man after we landed in Telfox's deathbed. And as on his final day, as he was breathing his last breath, he revealed something to Zebo, and that was that during one of their many sessions where he would polish the armor of the autognome and clean him, he found a note hidden deep within the internals of this robot. finally decide to give him that now. And what he realized was that it was from his master, creator Vendil. Vendil basically said that when the time is right and you are ready, please make your way back to the workshop. There will be the truth about how I created, as well as the purpose and why I created you. Just much more. So now with the goal of life, he seeks to enlighten himself, train himself, so that one day he will be able to make that perilous journey back to his home.
Like that perilous journey about the Emerald City to get a bit from us. He's got just different.
What? Sure.
Different.
In the Emerald City.
That cost us a lot of money. I just did not monetize this episode. God, beautiful.
Cool. At current, do you see him living on the outskirts of Mirewood?
Considering it would be about 10 years after the heroics happened, and then we'll say this was roughly 60 or 70 years of living with the cleric. So he would have been traveling for about 20-ish years or so.
Okay.
As your help break, just walking along the land. So he could be wherever you need to be.
All right. So one of the things that we're going to like start off with is everyone's going to start in Ember Hall. It's easy for you because the dwarves live in Ember Hall. You guys, we already talked about how you guys are getting to Ember Hall.
Coming to Emerald. Welcome all.
And so one of the things he can do, like he can be going to Ember Hall to seek a party to help him
With his quest.
with his quests. Cool. Jay, your turn.
Oh, good. So my character is Senti. He's a 42-year-old half-elf monk with a high-elf lineage. After the Emergence, Senti was born Li Yu Di. After the Emergence, his kind of small, medium-sized village came under the rule of a ruthless warlord who, while protecting the village from the rest of the outside chaos from the Emergence, still was not very fair. It was usually pretty violent to me. In his late teens, the village actually attempted to rebel against the warlord and his cohorts. Everyone was killed at the exception of UD. Stricken with survivor's guilt, he vowed vengeance. Sifting through the rubble of his home, he found the map with some of his other father's belongings. His father was an elf. His mother was a human. He followed it. So he found a map and the belongings. He followed the map and it led him to an ancient elven monastery where there were monks there practicing ancient elven kung-fu. He was initially rejected, and they refused to teach him the martial art, mostly because of his half-human lineage. However, Chief Abbot still had mercy and took him in. And in return for taking him in, he helped repair the monastery, which was now in a lot of disrepair from age and just from the Emergence. For 2 years, Li Yu works to repair the monastery, all the while secretly watching and practicing the techniques of the other students. The students and the chief abbot do become friendly with Li Yu, but some of the other abbots continue to be somewhat disrespectful to him. This kind of comes to a head as one evening in his quarters, the chief disciplinary abbot actually finds him practicing the techniques, showing a surprisingly natural talent and affinity for it. He's very mad about this, and he begins to scold and accost Li Yu. The chief abbot overhears the commotion and intervenes, reminding the abbot of their values as monks. Chief abbot then gives him a new name, Santi, and invites him to train in the monastery's 35 chambers. Santi learns at a rate never before seen by any other student, and after 6 years, the chief abbot is considering letting him oversee one of the chambers. However, thinking him unfit for the role, the chief disciplinary abbot challenges him to a series of exhibition matches. Santi loses every one of those. However, he's determined to prove himself, and reflecting on all the fights, he creates a new weapon for himself, a 3-section staff and is finally able to beat the chief disciplinary abbot. And his reward was to oversee one of the chambers. However, Santee does something completely unexpected. He professes that he wants to create a new chamber, 36th chamber, devoted to teaching lay people of any species the techniques of the monastery so that they may be able to protect themselves from oppressors of great and small power. Understanding the importance of this in the post-emergence world, the chief abbot publicly banishes Santee, but secretly establishes the 36th chamber. And the chief abbot says to Santee, the 36th chamber exists wherever its overseer is. But you have to learn the last part of your journey, which is you have to let go of your vengeance and teach others what justice is. Santee understands this and knows that it will be incredibly challenging, especially if he has to leave the monastery and find that on his own. However, he hopes through teaching others he will find that peace. Santee then spends the next 4 years wandering the land, tracking down the warlord that destroyed his village. He's teaching others the elf martial arts, ways to defend themselves from the oppressed, and just the general chaos of the post-emergent. He eventually comes across a small village where the people are very apprehensive of his presence, because they just typically don't see a lot of tourists. He goes to a small eatery and is enjoying some tea outside when he hears a commotion. There are some men marching through town, and he notices one of those men is the lieutenant, the warlord that destroyed his village years ago. As they draw near, there's a few children that are also out playing in the street around 10 or so years old, and the men stop and begin bullying the young children. Santee intervenes and pretty easily dispatches the men. They retreat, and the children are thankful. The father of one of the children approaches and scolds all the children, especially his young son, for playing in the street and for not staying out of the way as the warlord was bed. He warns Santee that they will now be looking for him and offers him to hide in his home. At the moment, Santee tells him of his story and his history with that warlord and how he'd love to teach the village to defend themselves and eventually potentially overthrow the grip of the warlord. The man in the village is convinced that the warlord will move on soon, and so that they just have to stick it out. The village will almost have nothing left for them to take anyway. Hopefully the warlord will leave. This upsets his young son and calls his dad a coward. Santee defends the father, saying that without the means to fight, it just wouldn't make sense. And that there's no cowardice in understanding your own power in such a situation. The father is thankful, but still feels, ashamed that he's letting his son down. And he tells Santee that there are actually several people in the village that would absolutely be interested in learning to fight back. Santee tells his father that they're going to have a chance only if everyone participates, which includes the father. Father's still torn, but still takes him to where all the friends meet to talk about Revelation. While he's meeting and talking with those other people in the village, a spy was among the village and had told the warlord of where Santee was staying. So while they're away at this secret meeting, the warlord feels men sneak in the village and murder the child. With a sense of hope, though, Santee and the father return to the house to find the Bruce scene. Now stricken with guilt and rage, Santee tracks down the warlord and his men, single-handedly killing everyone, but is wounded in return. Realizing that his desire to teach others may have these consequences, he has some second thoughts about this mission. Knowing that he can't face the man and that village again, he chooses to just disappear and move on. After he's leaving where the warlord and his men are staying, he takes a large jug of rice wine and drinks himself into a stumbling stupor. This is how we'll find Santee now, a drunk, aimlessly searching for a purpose.
Wait. Very nice. Very nice. I have
kind of the same thing, Santee
Yeah, good. I have a good idea for where that village is and where the monastery could be. Actually, yeah, that's not what I was thinking of, but that's probably a better place for it. Yeah. Cool. All right. So I think we'll have him drunkenly stumble his way up to Ember Hall from Penglai.
Yeah. And if it makes any difference, he can already be they're just
Mhm.
typically begging and getting by.
Yeah.
Too. So if he doesn't need to approach, he can already be there.
Cool.
Whatever works for you.
That works.
He doesn't really have an injury. He just was wounded and he's now healed.
Is homeless there?
Yeah, he's just almost a drunk cat.
Hot. How old is he?
42.
What is he? Oh,
I don't.
hi.
Yeah, I help.
Still Phil.
Sort of. Very bald.
If he's
We have two.
Well, actually, I guess he could. No, he would still keep it bald here. Bit of there. Because he's still, Santi is still. Santi is like devout, but really only when like
Down.
not blackout.
Yeah.
Like when Santi's blackout drunk, he doesn't care about it. That's first stamp. So
And which is why you
that's why I chose. So the idea here is that the character Regals, hoping to use subclass, which is way of drunk master, is that he's learning to better harness his drunkenness.
that's why it'll take a couple levels of barbarian.
I thought about it, so I might, but there's actually some of the higher level stuff for Drunken Master mod is perfectly fine to keep for one. Once you, I think, level 5 anyway, you get an extra attack,
Nice.
and then you get other cool features with the Drunken Rage or Drunken. So I may not. I thought about it. I still might do that, but I may not need to. I may be able to stick with that subclass.
Or like he takes a shotgun while he's raging like
That'd be good. And also, chat, don't come for me. I know that this is the exact plot of the 36 Kingdoms of Shaolin.
what he's talking about.
I don't know. Sorry. No, eventually there's gonna be one person who like the Kung Fu movie fan. Hey, got a character name too. Yes.
And then they're
Come
gonna
to me,
say
shopper.
that you're a fresh cut of grass. I was Dragon Age Origins.
Chill.
Yeah. The robot. Oh,
I love.
Shale's actually a girl.
I love.
I didn't know that for the longest time.
I don't remember Shale.
You might have not encountered her.
She was like stuck in the village, and then she's like, "You have saved me. Thank you."
No birds pooping all over there. You had to kind of go out of your way to find her.
Wow, we know it's not a completionist.
And I'm proud of it.
He gets out a lot of.
Okay, we've got everyone's stories. If you guys don't mind, it looks like you guys have written it all down, so that's good. If you could send that to me, so I can review it.
I'm
Good.
I'll make it cute, and I'll send.
Good. Now, let's see. Trying to think if there's anything else we need to cover. So I think what we're going to do on the first episode will be the circus coming into town. And you all have your various reasons for going into Ember Hall. But you're distracted by the circus, baby.
Girl in a black and white mask and a black and white shoes. You just like doing flips and tricks and wearing the silk.
So we'll have things happen there first. So that's on the plan. What we're going to do now is we did this the first session 0 that we had. So you guys still have a lot of the things that we covered in your backstories. So I'm going to try to focus a little more on you three. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go around and ask questions of you about other characters.
Got it.
And so we're going to kind of like fill in some of the blanks of your backstory and kind of like just, collaborate on how the whole story is going to go. You obviously have the right to veto anything if you feel like it doesn't fit. But other than that, but other than that, we're all making up everyone else's stories. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, Katie,
Yes.
what do you think Thrice was like as a child.
Very rambunctious. Always getting into just mischief, but not in the sense of like, would never hurt anyone on purpose, but things like, getting stuck in a barrel because he saw some treats in it and, having to call for help, getting lassie, But yeah, very, very rambunctious, very Leo personality type.
Love that. Absolutely.
Nice. Oh, cool. Cool. Sorry, writing this down. Sonia.
Me.
So, Zebo was built in Dun Haldur.
How long did it?
After roughly, I'll around 100 years ago.
What kind of materials do you think went into his creation?
Oh my god. Definitely iron. Maybe a couple of little gemstones, for a little sparkle. Glass. For like a little bit more sparkle.
That would not be very efficient of building material.
Add it to the melted iron.
Some diamond
Dust.
Yeah.
Steel.
Well, I need power tools. I think
Gems.
to make
The gems could have been molded into his fists, so that
uncut down.
I definitely think that there will like layouts. Little gems near a little awkward, but yeah, the usual.
Devo appreciates your compliments.
How tall is he on again?
About 3 feet.
Oh, no, we really don't.
We got two littles.
You don't stand on his shoulder. We're so little. You need one
I was
person.
gonna feel like flying to show standards.
Wait, so how tall are you?
That is an excellent question, Jay.
What's your species?
I'm an elf. Full elf. I haven't quite determined her exact height, but it would probably be around like 5'6", 5'5", 5'6". So she must be shorter.
So you at 5'6", me at 5'9". We're still in the tower over these.
We're so minimal.
yeah, taller than both of you.
Yeah.
There's gonna be like there's gonna be looks at us and is it fun to
Now we'll get a coat and I'll stand on your shoulders.
Right.
And I'll just be house.
Yeah.
And those are so honest.
Can I have my Eldritch Cannon go onto his shoulder?
That's a thing you can do.
Howard.
Yeah.
All right.
Say hello to my little friend. we call him Rim. Shunko's by that.
Okay. Okay. Eric. Let's see. What do you think? Does Santi go for a particular drink, or does he just find whatever he can?
After noticing several patterns, it would seem as though Santi will choose an alcoholic beverage if one is available. Are not to be determined at this. It is a very great pattern. It does pretty much determine there isn't that at all.
Yeah, stronger it gets. It's not about the kind, it's about the strength. But I think
Preference voice like that, like Chris versus Clear.
yeah, I think maybe that could be the wrinkle is that when he wants to control himself, which will be eventually, is be like a rice wine.
Like, sure. He actually has PTSD flashbacks from the drinks. Really is it as what he took.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, so he probably wouldn't like rice wine.
Which is, and it sets him back to that.
Right. And that's like the worst one.
Like,
Yeah. I don't have a bad memory of tequila. That's like the universal bad memory.
There's a whole song about it making your whole
Tequila.
That's the best song for Kish. Keep going. Tequila.
Again, it's very, very cool. Like, and since he got into town and can confirm that he is indeed so dispense at least 3.
Yeah, I'm sure to actually like write these down.
Yeah, yeah.
Canon. How'd you know?
I have a cannon.
Great. Okay, cool. Let's see. Jay. So, we have established that Moxie's,
If you turn that off,
I know.
Moxie's mask is what basically gives her powers.
Yep. Yep.
What condition was it in when she found it?
Well, it's a pear, right?
No, it's one that changes. Oh, that whole thing.
Oh, yeah, sorry, yes.
That's like one of the most important things that she just.
Yeah.
Like she uses sometimes she's failing, so she wears her.
That's right.
What happened?
That's okay. Honestly, you have two as a prop, but it changes drive. That's why I was saying. Okay. Condition of the sound. Well, since it's able to summon the genie, I would imagine it was found in a very modest condition. As I know, a lot of times I know that modern media, like a genie's lamp or things, usually very ornate. I know actually they're supposed to be very modest. So I think it was probably in not like completely rough and battered shape, but it was very I think it was like it had
It lived in.
it had a shiny finish at one point. That's like more than rain. It's got a very bad finish now. And it maybe was stuffed up. And it's since like just restored a little bit. Or I guess, and I would say it was found in probably modest shape.
So you make terms used.
Use good. Excellent. Yes.
Yeah. Should I ask it or should I leave it?
Yes, ask.
What kind of person might have owned it before she found it?
Oh. It's my mother.
Same person that owned it previously was. I want it to be in a way opposite. And because I would imagine that if you've held on to it for as long as you have, you and your gene get along.
But like,
Right. So then, because that I think that would probably be interesting is that's why Jin, that's actually like how Jin tricked the other person into leaving behind because the person you had before was greedy or influenced, because like wanted to influence Jin in bad ways. The Jin and her left back. So whether it was like they were overly greedy and always used the power for thievery, or whether they used any kind of power to do violence, just the opposite. And so that's part of on Jin that you're just hated the person that had before, and probably manipulated that in some way into eventually leading or losing the power purpose or move. Quits. Anyway, yeah.
I really like that too, yeah. Cool. Dylan.
Yes.
Let's see here. Let me just quick.
get like post on the Discord and then you get anything so far. Not good at telling that.
Well, you don't have to type it. You have to list it unless it's murder.
Know all of it.
Yeah. Which I'm terrible at, but whatever. Let's see.
This is a music. Just go back and watch the fight.
Right. That's why we're doing this. Let's see. Where would you find Sarah on vacation?
Weird way, like Sarah on vacation. I think that she would love a cottage tour as trip out to the woods, removed from modern conveniences. I think that she would like to unplug and plug in, right? So kind of by herself probably. So she really like get back to her roots, get in touch with the world around her, sit in the sun, and communicate with animals in whatever way she can.
Yeah, that's great. That's the dream. That's like her retirement goals. To just have like small little hut in the woods, like you see cottage core.
Yeah.
But it would be like strawberry. Yeah, they're like beach. She is. She has
It's great.
survivor skill, like she's not gonna let the world survive her again.
Perfect. Cool. Katie, let's see. But how old did you say Santi was when he joined the monastery?
Sanity was probably around, probably around 23-ish. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It was probably, I would probably say around 21. Because he spent 2 years, because he was at the monastery for a total of 8 years.
Okay.
And then it was like, about 4 years after that, was wandering around until he found the village. They helped him around 52. And then he's basically literally spent 10 years being this wandering drum.
Okay.
So yeah, I want to be plenty of time within one people want to count so it'll be perceivably difficult for him to refine himself.
Cool.
Yes, so yeah, about 20-ish.
Cool. All right. So, Katie,
Yes.
previous to his finding the monastery, what do you think Santi or Liudi, what do you think that his before his ambition was monk stuff, what was his ambition before that?
Probably to be some sort of teacher.
Okay.
Whether it was to become like a teacher that teaches herbalism or simply teaches like meditation. He would be a teacher for knockout kids.
Well,
Sounds cool.
Howard's son.
Yeah.
So I did change Santi's childhood part from the original character. The original character is a beautiful, university, school, late teach and adult. And being his little village, it's actually, I think it's 1800s technically is when the actual story takes place in China, and it's the Manchus were rolling through all kinds of towns, basically being horrible, and it was that was their big government at the time. It's the Qing dynasty, I think. But anyway, it was his teacher that is actually working with the spy organization rebels.
Oh no.
So his teacher is what inspired him to want to be part of the rebels. And they're initially all caught, and Santi, he was able to run away from the village, survive out his 3 friends, and a teacher. So he loved his teacher very much. So he loved his teacher, he loved his father. In my story, his father was his biggest teacher. So yes, he wanted to pass on to the younger generation. Here was a big motivator why he wanted to establish this chair to the people was because the stuff, chippers as they currently follow his followings. Children, I should start in terms of philosophy and understanding. So 100% would if all that stuff hadn't gone, 100% would have been him for those teacher, or in a perfect world, he would definitely be a teacher as he grew up. So yeah, absolutely.
Nice. Cool. Sonia. While Thrice is working as a cleric in Ember Hall, what does he do when he's not clericing?
Great. Great. Adrian, great.
Heavy drink.
Yeah, Jake. I mean, let's go and add another step. Like,
Well, like, I see this like
yeah,
okay.
it's kind of a party.
Yeah, it's really girl.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it is a wood seat.
Oh, but that's really bad. Really great. You have, like, do you think he sounds so beautiful? You take kitties. They even like,
Yeah, they buy Adrian just to get the fuck off.
yeah.
And wait, so the follow up, but if for units like what did Corinne that what was he would he that only when he's drunk or if all the time he think because
I think absolutely only when it's
because then when he's coming over the next day he realizes what I asked you.
Does he regret it?
and he's like, oh no.
What did he do it again?
This that's like so devout in his in relationship. It's because it's like it's they're like the ages to the most old the shred like
Who wants to be friends?
I'm pretty sure I threw a gnome off the hill the other day.
I love it. Oh boy. Okay. Okay, Eric.
Yes.
Let's see.
I
Does Santi have a childhood friend who may or may not wonder where he is at the moment?
I didn't think so. I would assume that possibly because things that sounds to you would be dead by now. But maybe on their journeys kind of looks for that. Definitely I think he definitely doesn't realize his work for me sometimes. He's someone who's like, I don't give a shit about you, so fucking shit about me. That's really not the case.
What do you think this friend's name is?
Poop, not
Clover. Clover. You're a cactus.
Woon Z.
Woon?
WN
Okay.
dash CI. Z.
Bits.
You're excused.
Like this time.
Cool.
Okay, so yes, that friend probably would have had to have left the village because if you remember, they're all
Right.
But yes, or alternatively, if it's a childhood friend, it could be another.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Let's let's make it that.
Specific monastery was very close.
That is chemical.
It probably does wonder because that's the other big thing too is that again, only the chief abbot knows that he's technically still part of the monastery.
Yeah.
Who's the overseer of the 36th chamber because publicly banished Santee. So by looks, and so nobody knows. So I'm sure Wincy probably goes. He got banished, but he was one of the best of us. I hope he's still out there doing okay. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
You're bald.
Yes.
But do you have hair? Do you shave it every day?
Yes.
What color?
Black.
Do you have like receding hairline?
No. Well,
Full head?
probably. Well, so like monks with high elf lineage, a lot of them have widow's peaks. So it's probably kind of a widow peak.
Probably like your hairline.
Yeah, I'd probably say
So we get
probably
out.
a little pointier than my hair, but probably my hair is age.
So the important question.
I was the hairstylist of the group.
Everyone model your hair. Secret Styles by Sonia.
That's great. Yeah, that's right. Say it.
Here, get the haircut.
Today's episode sponsored by.
Inadvertently.
Secret Stylist by Sonia, Chick Jules, and White Rabbit.
And Unity.
Yeah, please sponsor us so we can. There we go. Perfect.
Honest, just send us.
Yeah.
Look, you're getting
Look
And
at this
here.
product placement.
It is so placed. It is hard to see, but it is very placed.
Okay.
For like the one person that's watching right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is so I know you have it up.
I do have it up.
Ask Alice if she can hear everything okay.
Actually,
Oh wait, she's not watching anymore.
Okay.
She liked it in subbed though.
Okay, good.
Told me.
that actually is a question. In terms of service for stream, tobacco products or video products on screen, would that be about? Yes, sir.
I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, not
But don't
Yeah.
say the keyword.
We're supposed to say a keyword. That's it.
Well, I think honestly, like, I think if there's any partners, like actual partnership with the streaming platform involved, probably can't.
Yeah.
That's where as far as smoking, like vaping and being obvious with your jamming. Yeah, that's really where it would matter. But no.
Okay, good to know.
So I'll let you know if we ever get partnered, but
Yeah, basically that's at least 5.
yeah.
Can't wait for our first plush.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how long do half hours live?
Okay, right.
I actually don't know, but
Guess.
Lower humans.
1,000 years?
Not.
No. Maybe even Hecate found a way to stay alive for.
And then I will go and kill them. This thing I'm not allowed to do that. I would.
They sing druids, and they got it. The timeless quality.
Well, that comes for us all,
No.
and it's me.
Level 3 guys. Try this.
Fuck up level 20 Hecate. Get out of here. I get it now.
I learned.
I didn't even realize
Grim,
that until
brave domain cleric.
5
Grim
minutes.
Reaper.
5 minutes until after I said that out loud, I didn't realize it. Yeah.
Grim.
What is it life expectancy?
But it's funny because, like, grave domain clerics, I feel like they want to keep the living living, and they want to keep the undead or the dead dead.
Yeah. Right.
See,
Within natural circumstances.
Correct.
Rest in peace, Morgan. Heart.
so grave domain clerics don't really mess with necromants.
Absolutely not.
Right. It's got it.
It's like there's some levers that Russians say that. And,
Unless it's not their time.
Unplants.
but
How do you decide what the time?
Yeah.
How do you see how would extending your life vis-a-vis becoming a lich be any different than getting like an eternity blessing is through it?
Emmerich did it in Dragon Age.
But like, it's one of those things where like the reason you do it and the way that you do it, I think at least to Grid, doesn't necessarily matter as much as you are violating the pact of life-death cycle. So it's like you could be like a great person and you're making your life longer so that you can do good things for the world. But at the end of the day, you're still dabbling in the thing that will probably at some point lead you to madness, becoming lich power, because it's like absolute power corrupts absolutely. So even if you go in with the best intentions of like, well, I want to do good for the world and I want to just be alive longer, probably not how that went.
So Grim believes in like some form of natural order of things.
Yeah.
Within there's just a lot of boundaries as far as what that natural order, I should say there's some flexibility in what that natural order is.
Yeah, like if someone has a common cold, he's not like the Christian Scientists who are like no blood, but like
What about dies in combat?
the valiant way to go. Valhalla waits.
So what happens
Give
if
your last rites and say
what happens if one of us dies in combat and
That
someone
sounds like
back to life?
that sounds like that would be a very tough internal shum for him that he will probably have to face and come to terms with.
That'd be it. That'd be it. That'd be it.
I'm squishy, so
That'd be a good story moment.
Yes.
Well, remember, unconscious is not dead.
Yes.
So
now I'm
I know.
terrible situation.
No, I know.
We will eventually hit you out.
Re Scorpion.
Okay. Jay,
Yeah.
how does Zebo generally react with or interact with new people?
Annoyingly. No, because like so based on everything Eric said, Zebo seems like a neutral in terms of like overall positiveness. Like isn't like outright like, hi, I'm Robot, nice to meet you, but is still enthusiastic about learning about others' world. So I would imagine like just when meeting a new person and when generally interacting with people has a sunny disposition and will sometimes like brush right up against slightly annoying in terms of asking maybe like a personal question that's maybe that's had too personal right away, that kind of thing. Very not quite to the annoyance of data, but pushing up to that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like slightly, but knows Zebo seems to be able to identify when they're starting to be a little annoying and knows when to either apologize or go, no, you don't think answer that one. That one may have been too personal side. Like knows where the line is, but still sometimes acts trust.
And I would say can have a tendency to stick and split his mouth by not being able to any certain social people.
Oh my god, I'm thinking of that too.
I do not think she understood the problem.
He's the robot. He's supposed to take it.
I don't think it came up, but she's a contortionist.
Contortionist. I too can remove
No, bend them.
bend them. Yes, I can bend them as well. Baby joints.
Pulls off arm and folds it up. He's sitting like two little. See, contact arm.
And starts throwing in the box. Contortion off.
Foxy is dead.
Yeah, Zero's gonna be like, oh, let's see, this much of my hand can fit.
She was not a quitter. It should have been.
My
Dylan.
Yes.
See, so Zebo has been traveling around for the past how many years?
That
Wait,
Oh, look at Debbie Thomas.
you can't do this, Liberty.
How long was Zebo wandering around for the past how many years?
roughly 20, 15.
Okay. How often do you think he has to? Well, okay. So how does recharging work for him?
So
We used. Let's
So Jim's.
Alcohol.
Three alcoholic.
they made it grateful or
Doing how big?
to all their
How's that work? Because 100 years ago, there was a bunch of zombie guys doing Haldor.
So he was created just before that happened, and then it all happened, kind of like Data.
Oh, cool. Love to.
I love gathering data too. I can't wait for our character interaction. Are you a robot?
Say robot.
Are you a robot?
You want them robots?
by general specifications, you could refer to me as a robot. However, I am a organic I am a automaton designed by a living creature.
So
We should give him a mental spell.
So okay, you're the work on the ground in.
Correct. Yes.
I think that you need to find. You almost have like you could put your whatever it is, almost like a water wheel. But you need to find some kind of currents, whether that's like stream or breeze of air or some kind of like motion that you can capture and come away. Or just spin your battery up, and if you don't have anybody, then somebody can just stand there like that. Yeah.
Hey man, why is your arm so much stronger than the other?
Practice.
I have to crank myself regularly.
I must say, he has made quite the companion, and it's excellent at cranking my knob.
Like I can keep me fast. You are
But yes, that provides the best battery charge rate.
sometimes some oil on me. That part of the job.
Where is it located? Is it like when you put on your arm?
It is penis.
I gotta say, it's like there's like a back at it's like a wide give on my butt, and then
Yeah. Nice.
How often do you think he has to do that?
I think that he doesn't have to do it often, but he knows when he's right low and needs to like top off.
Okay.
Maybe once every like 2-3 days, he gets that little like low power notification.
yes, it's just like a really loud fart.
Somewhat great.
In the middle.
I believe this is now the time to apologize.
I haven't looked up the stats for autonomes. Do they don't sleep, right?
So to actually to be watched, let me give you the exact.
Depends on their operating system. Sometimes it's called sleep. Sometimes it's called hibernate.
Yeah, you guys just sleep balls. Sorry, I'm just keep the absent, please.
The sports.
Okay, sentries rest. And you take a long rest, you spend at least 6 hours in an inactive, motionless state instead of sleeping. In this state, you appear inert but remain conscious.
Okay.
So during that time, he can pop out his little collector.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Would he just be kind of giving out still conscious? Be like, nice weather today. But yeah.
How does combat work in terms of like when you get injured and things like that?
I would just assume like parts of me now, because I have the ability to mend like small 1 inch things on me.
That 8 hours would be you.
Yeah, like, in truth, we could probably do like healing, like we'll combine the ability plus healing spells to make that work.
Yeah, the healing all works the same way. It's just the magic of it also repairs.
Yeah.
Autonomous.
Me.
Yeah.
It'd just be hard to like go over and stabilize you. Like you can get to somebody.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a medicine check. It would probably be like a intelligence or a tinkering. Yeah, yeah.
How much is it?
Hell yeah.
Out.
It's there. Please break me. Kidding. I'm still to stop me.
Just as needed. Right?
Choose creature within range of your hit once in this dead, including the stable.
Cover a good variant.
So, I thought I told you before. I do not eat. Don't get buried. Hey, Crinkle. I eat the way like Autumn's like book in like the books.
You can go with whatever you want.
And it's just like they look so hilariously stupid.
All right, where was I? Okay. Katie.
Yes.
Where does Grim like to go in Ember Hall? Just like in general.
So besides, some of the local taverns, who actually really enjoy pottery classes that are offered.
Nice.
Yeah.
Making urns.
And there's like a
Made his own ale dog.
Yep. Earning.
I have seen the crowd between life and death. I have seen things that would drive you mad. That's like my
Only is my favorite.
Sonia. Let's see.
I don't know what it's like.
You came up with so much to work with on Santi that it's difficult to like find some gaps to fill in. No, that's good.
I never know what is too little or too much.
No, I mean, it's great.
What about girlfriend too?
Yeah. Yeah. What kind of love life does Santi have?
Wait. It's not like talk about partners, but I need to know what you want your
local town.
sexuality.
He's a straight. He's boring, so. Another name for a monk is stationary, so.
Chance.
Do our monks like avatar monks they have like they're like kind of outlet?
I mean, theoretically, yes, because the monastery was all men.
And you grew up where you were flying there?
No, didn't go there till I was
Great. I know that. Agree with that.
20s.
Do you want to be celibate?
I'm sorry you're drunk.
I think currently Santi is celibate because he's usually drunk
And stinky cold
somewhat
ones.
clean. Yes, like that's really. I don't want to say the. I don't want to say the word, but it's not celibate by choice.
So in style.
No. Balls. Yes. Well, and he's bald. I just need you to.
I chose.
Oh God! Just kung fu martial arts, bald and so I need.
Give him some hair. You like Steve.
And has to be the voice you.
I already know what he sounds like.
I mean,
Because I was so.
and trying to get over racial connotation.
I would probably imagine it's mumbling and just whatever comes out of his mouth is the stupidest. disrespectful thing.
So since you're basically homeless, would you have a way to shave your head? That's why it's an important question.
That's he has a trusty razor.
Yeah, that's the one. He's got a dagger.
And you had a whole lot.
It should be a memento for this.
Yes, yeah. So he's not, but he's when he's not when he's drunk, he doesn't feel anything, and when he's sober, he only really feels a lot of guilt, but he knows that, like, yes, deep down he's still committed as he can be, even though he's mostly trying to like avoid a lot of this.
So that he would maintain his head shape.
Yeah. You're maintaining his head shape. I would imagine that, like, the monastery, when you're at the monastery, you're just like selling the seat. That's supposed to be your quest, right? Going do
Almost, yeah.
I don't think that. I personally don't think that there's anything in what he's learned, what he's been taught, and what he wants to do that would require him to sell once he left. So the time between the time he left the monastery and the time we find him now, there's nothing to say that he's selling it. He hates it.
Okay. Well, I don't want to speak for like modern times, but maybe like growing up before you went to the monastery, you had like a very long time girlfriend that had so much to do. And
She'd be dead.
No.
She probably one the other Philip.
well, then there you go.
Well, yes, that whole like childhood friend, it's the whole like, unrequited love, because
Yeah.
they're both in both in school, not of like the whole marry age yet and whatever.
Wrote together.
But he promised her that he would marry.
Yeah, it was like the unspoken thing. Like none of the other, like all the other boys and all parents were like, these two are being out yet.
You even like gave her like a tin ring that you wear on the necklace.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Taking homes that was. Yeah, CFT is definitely like, Sachi is definitely sentimental, and that's like the whole conflict between him and like the whole Golden Monastery thing. Anyways, because he doesn't believe in the thing, those last little things like sell the sea, like that thing, and that was kind of, potentially one of the things that would also keep him from fully selling a lot of this thing, because that's the whole idea, is that the monks were always, no, you must shut off this part of your brain. You must not have these, like, should have get lost words. The, needs, the wants of the body, that kind of thing, are not really, coming of a monk and whatever. And he's like, it's fun.
Her name is Solens.
Solens?
Solens.
Solens?
S-O-L-A-N-S.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it. I like it a lot.
It was one of the names I was saying to me, Roxy. Maple was another option. So Cordelia. Moxie Quinn. No, Foxy. That was Bella Quinn. Bro, that's He's so good. And I was wrote it down. Where that like
All right. Eric.
Yes.
Let's see. What happened? Okay, no. Here's a different one. Did Grimm ever get kicked out of a place, and why? If so.
Did you ever get kicked out of place? Like art?
Bar, restaurant?
Oh, please.
Sure.
Pretty good.
He offers a lot of these services because he get drunk, do something stupid, come back, and you get the hell out of here. me out of therapist services.
I'm doing your taxes.
Yeah, we don't do it. Also, no republic.
I feel like she has some enemies throughout the world. Maybe not like I swear mortal vengeance on you, but you know, if you see them, it's on site. It's a son of a bitch. Back here again.
I would probably curse to you and family, but if I ever see you around here again,
Like I could see it's like, oh, he's trying to sound of stuff. Well, we should go get us a new sound. It was like now it'd be convenient for hairs.
instead of walking right down this something up in your face, Graham. I'm chilly. It's like cold.
Oh, you
Hi.
Because
Yes, have it. Fuck, questions out. You're not honest.
what? I'm certain much.
All right, Jay. Let's see.
Overselling. It's a second. That's also selling.
Does Zebo remember anything about Dune Aldur before the fall?
How long were you there before it fell?
So I was mostly cats. Became in my workshop. I only could say at this side. So it's a long project. I did have therapy like this purpose and just to like seal it up, you know, maybe get darkness or read.
And his creator could have given him
memories.
right.
Look at those moments where he tries to turn it on, and he's like, just a lot, like, like, now that's no sentience whatsoever. But would James acknowledge during those moments, you know?
Yeah.
At first, it has when he's like the creator's like teaching him all things, but he's just like, you know, just a god.
Yes, so I would say so those titles that you're those titles that you're were on are about titles that you would ask questions.
I was
about mostly, but the questions are
high text text file.
who's like a good boy?
Oh, it's my good user.
Yes, you might have shut the no markers. No, I would say either side is it's like Zemo's was hard on acted. You could ask questions, and say and be taught a little bit of history by the creator. Plus, on a grand scale, probably just know full breadth. Probably just a lot of knowledge outside of just what is taught. And for convenience sake, that can be whatever it's convenience. You're right. So whatever convenience for you to know. Or that's the dice.
Moon
Yes, I would say has some knowledge, but only based on what they asked of that time. That's what's the so
what between the time after the emergence, the event initiations in our workshop, that was the time when he was just a robot being announced. So we could say that transference could have some data corruption. That's be exactly like Truly's not been inspired in those 10 years. Especially, I already is the question how it was tribal shit.
Okay.
That was going to be what I was originally going to say is like maybe knows a lot, but has data corruption. And there could be potentially a way that data comes back. So, yeah, it's data corruption and World War 30.
And it's not. It's not been a broken floppy.
All right. We'll do one final pass, and this time I'm going to ask each of you questions about everyone. So Dylan, what do each of the characters, we know how you feel, but how do each of the other characters feel about the undead?
Even that, I'd say Sarah by the end. I think that she has a hatred for men and associates them with corrective to in hopefully nature. I think Moss is very I actually think this film does like Yoda at the sheep piece of thing on me. But I think this is on sure and should play showing like messing with the scales and because of the but I think it's like she's a sound stupid.
Yeah.
Sitting is like I would take her is so she was is back and forth. Zico, what I think has some feels almost like kinship with the undead in terms of like they are constructed beings that are outside of nature. It so doesn't like love them, but almost like understands that and has kind of like empathy with them.
So like, yes, I would say there is some prejudice, like has stopped, not out of like racism per se, but people are very trusting of him. I'm not scared of him because he is so,
Unnatural.
Yeah.
Definitely natural. Could almost be seen. Yeah, jeez.
and he's pretty much moved to it, but kind of begins to respond the time in Jeremy's sense. And so that's 24.
Oh, makes sense. And then Santi, Alagi, psychotherapy is no, it's almost like but this thing, like he looks down on that kind of construct because there is almost a supernatural ability to it. And I think he worked so hard to hone his craft and put a lot of like effort into being able to do what it does. That we'll say beings like that, where they're just like risen from the dead worlds to strong, powerful. It's almost like a short maybe.
Yeah, I would say that Santi more said, I should say to probably actually views closer to yours.
Okay,
As far as training,
yeah.
like, being not as much hatred the right, like a strong feeling is out of like duty because it's like going against what you do.
Right.
But that natural order. Yeah, the natural order is important and would most likely would probably hate netherlands.
Yes.
So it would almost have an empathy of that actually. Like, because again, like you said it, it's a natural risen and maybe but at the same time you read, of course.
Yeah.
Slowly.
Yeah, I mean, silly. They have a
Like,
but would be said it should probably have a very large state betterment just because he gets down for order. But probably wouldn't still mean to undead that is more empathetic to the toast.
Aw.
Yeah, I mean,
yes, I'll say that. Santi and his moments of weakness want to invest in their massing, bringing back wealth.
oh no, because Stexy understands the permanence of death. Like that's the thing, respects and now the order, despite knows that man it was just a river, twice Sadie River. No, because it's not saying man, it's not saying river. That whole
At it. I go to the fucking river over there. It's the goddamn river. What's the ocean?
water.
Water flows. You're a bastard.
God, see what the robot understand philosophy. Person does
Bad because robots are really good at like memory collection or data collection. Complex.
So you're glitchy.
Maybe that'll have like this to be complex cases like equal was made. They just strike.
Some attic error. Yeah, I'm surprised she's soon.
Katie.
Okay.
How would each of these characters, how long and how in general would they survive in the wilderness alone?
Brian would fucking survive. As long as an asshole.
Yeah.
Nice.
He would forage and be able to get live off like grades, berries, easily cons, etc. You definitely look like someone fake. It's like just a loin cough now. My guilt. Sarah, obviously, she would be fine.
Yeah.
Probably as a ranger. Miss Moxie, I think you would do pretty okay, like, well, but you would get the word about if there weren't like as many people to bother. So it shows us is how
Yeah. You're not doing show this all up.
people are
Probably was frozen.
It's gross. Get out of here.
And or Snow White totally.
yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's this?
I mean, it's like don't.
Platinum. You would struggle for sure. You charge with the water source, which is fine. But if you're like, in the forest and you can't find a water source, you inadvertently like start growing moss on yourself because like there's not really like what are you doing?
I will see. I believe Zebo would have an affinity towards animals. I'm going to kind of gets like a bash. Yep.
Well, like birds would start nesting on you.
Yeah.
Like squirrels would hit
Just
you.
row on.
You probably can't sense your sentience, particularly about. They're still like they don't because you're probably not always warm on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
So you're probably just
Only on the inside. Fascinating. And I think you would do pretty fine. I think that you would spend a lot of time meditating, mostly meditating. You would definitely struggle from the withdrawal of alcohol, though. You would figure out how to make like some backwater, like maple syrup type of booze.
just looking at it, you kind of mushroom and just saying,
Yeah, exactly.
oh, it just gets fucked up and not fucked up in the dead kind of thing.
Oh, you would ferment berries.
Yeah,
You would like,
Nice.
Yeah.
Sonia,
What? What?
what would each of these characters perform on stage?
Oh, holy nut. Okay. Bleach. Okay. The salad.
Yeesh.
French fry would. Oh. I do know. Yeah, it would be. You would try to sing. You would get shit faced drunk, and then you would try to sing.
Anyway, she's wonderful. Be the one that saves me.
You would like sing, do like a riot dance kind of thing. A lot of like stomping your feet, like off beat, you know, like Castle T-shirts or whatever. And Sarah would it'd probably be a bear, and it would be like oh, look at the scary bear. On one call to see the scary bear, and that you trained it to be like it roars, but then it like looks at you for like that. It's just another druid in disguise. Yeah, Jess is so great. Yeah. You would do the robot, obviously. But you get on stage and like I feel like if it was me like pushing to do it, I'd be like, I showed you. And then you go while doing that.
This guy's terrible. This is not actually doing robot. This is how the robots would actually.
Flamethrower. Doing some robots.
There's that whole episode of Star Trek where Data's trying to tell jokes. Isn't there?
Oh yeah. The most terrible jokes.
I feel like you would take like all the different performing arts and try and blend it into one, because you're like, okay, I have calculated the best way to make people laugh, and then you try to do it all at the same time.
Statistically, all
Yes, sir. It's a live universe and everything. 42.
There's something I think this dance has an 89% approval of rump shaking.
Literally
When they buoy your care module.
that. And you wouldn't. And
No,
so you wouldn't.
so we're Santee would do martial arts in your email.
You gotta be so boring. Is that before me? And you would do acrobatics like I
You're
did.
gonna get like jumped by the Shen Yu.
Yes.
You would do acrobatics like
Like that. It was like a purely performing art. Yes, I prefer.
Yeah.
With the ribbons.
Yeah, like martial art. Yeah, like martial art performance with like the ribbons. So it counts like ribbon dance. So yeah, like a athletic martial arts ribbon dancing. That's sexy.
I was almost thinking like barreled ale, how long you hold your breath to it in day, or like remove the lock, like
Oh, yeah, or like the whole like or like the other classic monk stuff, like stand there and somebody comes up and like breaks the stick over the
Yeah,
body.
yeah.
Like the monk needs a strange style.
Punch through some boards. Yes.
Or
human statue.
yeah, or yes, or like yeah,
So many.
it's like well, like holding the board, like holding
Yeah.
the low stance
Yeah.
for as long as possible.
Yeah.
You know?
So all of those.
All of the stuff that like you see that you would see like Shaolin monks do when they do performing arts style stuff, which is like they mix the martial arts acrobatics. Yeah, probably. Yeah, and that's because that's exactly what that's probably how it would go. Is that like Moxie would be like, okay, show me what you were gonna do, and he would just do like a martial arts for me. You go, no. It's got to be entertained. You gotta have this part and this part, and so I just go, all right.
Yeah. Like they're a flaming hoop.
Yeah, cool jump kick. Now throw through a flaming hoop.
No hands.
Yeah.
Put the ale down. Put the no, it's flammable.
No, and then said to you probably go, and take a swig.
Fire.
Take a swig, swallow it first. Take another swig, land fire. Yes. Mhm. Yeah.
Eric, what are each of these characters the most curious about?
Oh, that's a
Include yourself. Include yourself.
including myself. That's so. My. Damn, this is a hard question to ask. What would you be most curious? Like, in a, like, funny way?
As you
It's up to you.
Let's see, you're a cat player. You know, you would probably be curious about, shit. Wait, not just gossiping and stuff like that, because it's like, almost like a morbid fascination to that.
what?
Yes, I know you're going to be very curious about what drives someone to do that. Yeah.
I think you'd be slightly interested in like high society city stuff. For sure. It's like
I've always wanted to see a patriarch blue.
It's one short day.
You got a boy, that's $1 bill. I ain't what they am good.
Is that a gold poem?
Moxie Cleopatra.
And a whole lot of hackling.
You go with the tax accountants. I don't know. It's like really boring.
I love
You can take care of me and before.
God, you're the one I can figure out.
And me either.
It's alright. Can I get a chip in here with people? Anyone?
why were cherries created?
Tell my mother.
Why isn't everyone bendy? Why do people want sit-down jobs?
A fascination of
Professionalism.
You said a fascination of accountants. Yes,
Yeah.
fascination of people with boring jobs.
Yeah.
Like, why did you understand?
Why?
Yes, you try.
Yes. Yeah. It's like just
Why did they?
completely interested in Riker Jidoff's. Yeah.
You have fascination with people who have healthy, happy families. Yeah, no, it's like I think you're kind of like when you save people, and they like you like help a kid go back to the family part they hug. You're like off in like the distance, just kind of like watching shit.
What must that be like?
That must be like, sorry, it's pressing.
I mean, I would say yes. The fascination, and say the fascination of the idea of ever getting back to like
Yes, and Siba, I'll call it, have a fascination for food.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So, like, I think he desired to know what things taste like.
it's so pot. Like, would you eat woman eating?
No, I
Oh,
yeah, okay, that's what you're trying to put up.
Why is it called pizza pie? It does not have things in it, just things on top of it.
Jay, what are each of the characters' favorite drinks?
You know,
They let you was
just trying to try it on.
Yeah.
So gross. Straight from the tit, you know?
strawberry house.
Oh my god.
You really running strawberry corn? I would say I think Freese is a fucking rom/ale guy. Like, just the meat and potatoes of the booze world, you know, like not a snub particularly about a beat. There's like, you know, when Freese asks for the ales, they're like, you want it darker or light? It's just like, I want a beer flavored beer. Yes. Yeah.
And me.
I think I know why people ask for a light beer. They'll weigh the same. I think Sarah would actually like it. Like a spritzer gal. She'd like a
Well, thinking like a tequila sunrise, but not tequila.
right now. Well, to see like a thought that would be something a mixed drink that would be like fruity or floral, or something, you know. And it'd be young, so do fun.
Nescarin martini.
Yeah, something like that. Something that's very like, again, something that's very nature based, and that it would have like a clear layer.
Mm, maybe like a brambleberry and
Yeah,
rosemary mojito.
yeah. It's like, but not because like I initially thought like fruit based. I was like wine. I'm like, no, is there a way something a little more funky? So yeah, it's like cocktails. So yes.
Yeah.
Moxie is Moxie wants to get her done. So she's gonna go for the shots.
I just don't get it. Here you go.
And I would even choose saying not just shots like fun shots. Okay.
Lemon drop.
Slippery jibble, lemon drop, second. Like all the fun ones that mix a bunch of different booze takes flat and terror. Because the idea is like to because you want to do it as a social thing. She wants the big cheers moment. She wants everybody to cheers and go, oh, yeah, it was cool. That's the development stuff that I think she's after. Yeah, I mean, Zebra let us really neat. But so like that's but I think
Because he does have.
I would actually also say that no. Milk. Actually, yes. Because Zebo sees every other kind of like booze and every other kind of drink is made from vegetables, whether it's corn, berries, or whatever. But he's deeply, deeply interested and fascinated by the fact that humans and what just non-robots will drink a byproduct from an animal. What is he good at? So he's like, well, actually, he likes it. Oh, the shit. He's like, not deeply fascinated. Obviously, he can't decimate. He's deeply fascinated. So I think that's yeah. Well, we know we've already established that Santee's leash sphere moves rice wine. This gives him the flashbacks of Wayne busted. That's where his guilt lies at its root. I would say that his favorites are probably probably something like kind of like a dark and stormy, like your ginger beer mixed with like ginger ale, something that has a very earthy flavor to it. But it isn't just like beer or ale or something or like can. And sometimes so I'd say like either like a meat, something that has a very honey flavor to it, or something that has a very earthy flavor, like darkest one.
Oh,
Nice.
right after his house, we eat juice.
You
Mean potatoes.
like I don't think Sun even have a really sweet tooth.
Sarah does sweet.
Yes.
I'd have a little opposite voice in my head. Well,
Out of your mask's mouth. Yeah.
yeah.
A little hole in the mask.
It's got like this perfect little like in the cloud or just a smile, whatever. It's like this very little ridge so that the stick can move around back and forth on the track.
All right, how are we all feeling?
Really good.
Yeah, cool. So this is gonna be every other Sunday, 5 o'clock. We'll have a hard stop at 9, so we're not gonna go any longer than 4 hours. Try to make it on time. Remember stuff. Should.
That's time.
I'll,
On Mondays.
it's going to be a lot less. It's going to be a lot quieter here, so should be less distracting. But nonetheless try to pay attention. And I think we're good.
Yay!
Remember, send me all the notes that you took. I will review them and get back to you about other things that weave your story into the lore of the world. And that's that.
Yay!
Thank you. That's the end.
Yes, yeah. Hi everyone. Watch out. Make sure to like and subscribe.
Oh gosh, that's still good.
Yeah.
Next time notification.
We're gonna have that video on demand every Wednesday. Every other Wednesday.
Crap. Shit.
Oh,
And this stuff.
Quick, can I say?
what you are you?